All right, let's catch a little MSDNC. See what the other side's saying tonight.
I'm worried that Trump is on the edge of creating a civil war. He alluded to it more than once. He alluded to the fact that if he did not get reelected, that there could be a civil war. What does Trump expect? Oh, I believe he expects violence. I believe he expects confrontation. I believe he's working toward a civil war. We're not going to get goaded.
I would like for you to die of measles, of polio, of all the horrible diseases that living in this country, in this bubble of privilege and ignorance and morbid stupidity, you have the luxury of not having to worry about it because it doesn't really affect you. I hope it affects you. I hope it affects your children and your grandchildren. I hope it guts your community. That will make my life meaningful and extremely happy.
Wow. Well, enough of that. Sounds to me like both of those ladies need a good deal of help. Anyway, back to fixing the country, and live from Times Square, it's that Kevin Show.
Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps.
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media.
Is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Vostradamus.
Of course that Kevin Show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald Show. We don't have that, so we have that Kevin Show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Straight ahead, educating America, Jonathan Butcher, Dr. Robert Jeffress, and Patrice Onwuka. Sketch comedy from Al Curry, The Babylon Bee, and Not a Parody. The conservative young female answer to the manosphere, Emily Sturge, is here. An exclusive sit-down with Jesus Christ, Jonathan Rumi, and Torrin Wells in the Spotlight. And now, from Times Square, the only man in America not famous enough to be invited to the Jeff Bezos wedding, even though he really wanted to go. From Times Square, here's
I don't think you got that one right, Dave. I never have expressed an interest in going to the Jeff Bezos wedding. In fact, I was reading this week that it's going to be an all Hollywood kind of affair. And there's going to be, anybody who's everybody is going to be there because everybody wants to make nice with Jeff Bezos. I mean, he runs the Washington Post. He owns Amazon. He's, one of the most powerful guys on the planet. But you know who didn't get an invite? That guy. Do you know why he didn't get an invite? Because of that. I wouldn't have invited him either. Dude, put your tongue back in your mouth. It's not nice. Speaking of the opposite of that, that's lack of class. Speaking of classy, well, let me stay on lack of class for a second. Did you see what Maxine Waters, there she was in the opening, bad-mouthing the president, saying he wanted to start a civil war or something. I've never seen, by the way, Republicans do what I have seen that other lady in that video do, and there are thousands of videos of progressive females in particular. I don't know why, but progressive females losing their absolute shiz and just going off on people like that. And yet Maxine Waters says, no, Trump's the one that wants to have a civil war and kill all of his enemies and everything else. You haven't met some of these women, Maxine. And you know what? I don't think you've met Mrs. Trump either. This week, Maxine Waters called for the deportation of Melania Trump. And I don't think she intended to do this. I don't think she intended to bring attention to what she brought attention to, but she did it. But Maxine Waters, one of the crabbiest, flapjackiest, happy angry people I've ever seen. And I don't even know what that description contains. But yeah, just someone who just ugly all the time. That's Maxine Waters. Just being ugly, being nasty. Blah. But she's like, well, maybe we should just deport Melania Trump. Well, first of all, she's a citizen, so you can't. Secondly, she is the textbook perfect definition of how we want people to become citizens. She came here on a work visa, applied for citizenship while working, went through the entire process the way she is supposed to do so. And after she became a citizen, she then vouched for her parents to be able to come, and she walked them through the citizenship process, and they all became citizens. Melania's family became a citizen the legal, proper, moral way for people to become citizens, not the way Maxine Waters wants them to become. She just wants everybody to just kind of walk over the border and then just say, okay, boom, now you're a citizen. But she was saying maybe we should deport the First Lady this week. Just one of the many silly things that I ended up having to correct in the pages of townhall.com. Are you reading townhall.com? You should be. I'm writing almost every day now. And the other big one that got a lot of attention this week that I wrote about was the group chat story. Now, a little bit later on, we've got some new sketch comedy from the Babylon Bee about the group chat. You don't want to miss this. It's really, really good. Oh, and we've got to sit down with Jesus, the man who plays Jesus, Jonathan Rumi, one-on-one, 60-minute style, he and I, and it is fun. It is beautiful. It is delightful. You're going to enjoy this sit-down. But that's because The Chosen is in theaters this weekend, and I'm taking the tribe to go see it. I hope that you will check it out as well. But the other thing that I wrote about that I wanted to bring up was the group chat. Everywhere I've seen the progressives, like in the video, losing their mind all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, they're just losing it everywhere. But when they do, they're all about how horrible it was that somehow a reporter was not only on the group chat, but then told the details of the group chat, which technically the group chat information did not even qualify as classified information. Everybody was saying they broke classified protocol. It's considered highly sensitive, but not classified. And I might add that the only way that information could have been used to harm Americans was had something gone wrong with the attack. And by God's grace, our attack on the Houthis was textbook, totally successful, and indisputable in terms of how well we executed it. So good. The other thing I like about it is if you look at the text on the group chat, everybody is on the same page, and they are saying, does this comport with the commander-in-chief's wishes? Want to make sure that we're not going astride from something that the commander-in-chief wants. In other words, it shows that the entire, from Department of State to Department of Defense and everything in between, and those two departments are usually on different pages from each other, it shows that all of them are on the same page and pulling in the same direction. Wonderful thing to see that the top leadership is competent. They're focused. They are out to get our enemies. And you know what? I don't mind the world seeing that particular group chat. You know why? Because it strikes fear in our enemies, and it assures our allies that we are back, baby. We are all together. And then when you see after that group chat what happened to the Houthis, it's kind of like when Donald Trump was having dinner with Xi Jinping in his first administration, and he says, excuse me a second, I got to go do something. He goes and drops bombs on missiles on Syria because they had gassed their own people. Comes back and said, yeah, I had to clean up something, and then he tells them all about it. Xi Jinping's eyes, oh, wow. I want that. I want all of our enemies to be fearful of when a group chat's being formed because we're going to discuss how to keep Iran in neutral. I want that to take place. I want them to have a natural sense of hesitation about doing something against America. because when they do, the world's a safer place. And the group chat basically shows that 1,000%. So I'm very, very excited that we have a competent team that is doing what they need to be doing, and I want to make sure that future bad guys take it just as seriously. Friends, stay with us. Huge show. Torrin Wells is back in the spotlight. Great sketch comedy. And Jonathan Roumie as Jesus on this show. You don't want to miss it.